Hello everybody, this is Mr. Rob, and welcome back to episode number 29 of the Houston Astros franchise here in MLB The Show 20. We have two home series, first starting off against the Cleveland Indians in a prime-time MLB Network game. So if you're excited for that and for what's to come, hit that like button and subscribe down below for more MLB content, as well as hit the bell so you don't miss a single video. Now, starting off on the mound for the Astros will be Jose Urquidy in this primetime matchup. Probably our biggest rising breakout star this season, 2.24 ERA through 17 starts. He has been on fire. He's going to start off his day against the third baseman Jose Ramirez, who hasn't been as on fire on the road, hitting 249, does have 8 dingers and 23 ribbies. So first pitch of the game will be a called strike high changeup, as Astros sit second in the AL West now. 2-1 count now to Ramirez. He's going to chase a changeup down and away, and he actually pulls something in the old groin region. So Jose Ramirez is going to have to come out of the game. Doesn't even get to complete an at-bat in this game. And they're already going to have to go to the bench. They're going to pull out pinch hitter Mike Freeman, hitting 193 on the season. Not what you want to see if you're an Indians fan. It has been a rough and disappointing season so far for them. Hopefully Ramirez is okay, but Freeman's able to work the walk, so he doesn't even have to swing the bat. He gets to first base. So now runner on first, no outs, so we get a quick pop-up too short as Cesar Hernandez will become the first victim of this game. Let's take a look at this Cleveland lineup. Already seen now Freeman and Cesar Hernandez. Then we'll see Francisco Lindor, followed by the powerful Franmil Reyes. Domingo Santana, the DH, followed by Tyler Naquin in left. Carlos Santana at first. Bradley Zimmer in center, as well as catcher Logan Ice in the 9-hole. So that means next up Francisco Lindor, the shortstop. He's going to lace this one into right field for a base hit. So a little bit of early trouble here for Urquidy. Runners on first and second, now 1 out. He's going to bring up the big man Reyes, but he's going to ground it to a 3-6-3 double play to get out of the inning. So on the mound for the Indians will be Brad Keller, the man recently acquired from the Kansas City Royals in a trade that sent Kansas City Brad Hand as well as Nick Wingard from the bullpen. Cleveland just trying to look for some people to rebuild around some new faces. He's got a 3.32 ERA, so Cleveland would like that addition. And then Mike Freeman is going to stay in the game at third base for the rest of this one. So leading off now for the Astros will be Michael Brantley. He's hitting 263 on the season, getting his average up a little bit. First pitch to Brantley is a slider chopped right back up to Keller. Good reflexes, as he will record the first out of this one. Checking in on the Astros lineup, no real surprises, the guys you've already learned to see so far this year. Astros, though, 325 on base percentage, that is 11th in the American League. That's one of the reasons that's holding them back from really breaking through. But hopefully this 5-game winning streak could be a turnaround if you're a fan of this squad. So next batter, Bregman, full count to him, gets a changeup, and he's going to put this one into left field for a base hit. So 1 on here in the bottom of the first. Next up, Altuve, 0-2 count to him. He's going to swing and miss to a high fastball for out number 2. That means Yordan Alvarez is up next, 1-1 to him. He gets a slider. It's a little inside, but it's got some power to it. Franmil Reyes is at the wall. He jumps, and he's unable to pull it in. That ball is gone, ladies and gentlemen. Yordan Alvarez, 2-run blast on an inside slider. His 28th of the season, and Astros once more draw first blood in this one, as it is now a 2-0 ball game. So that means George Springer will be up next, 2-2 count to him. He gets a changeup but rolls it over straight to Lindor at short, who records the out in the inning. Now we're going to go top 2, so start right back off where the Indians left off, and they go down swinging on their first strikeout. So that will be the first out of the inning. Next batter for the Indians is going to chop this one straight at Correa as short for the second out of the inning. That means Domingo Santana's up next. He gets a 2-2 count. Him blast this one to opposite field, left center, in and off the brick wall that houses the train. And that ball is gone. And just like that, Indians get one of their runs back. They have this one, as that is Santana's 14th home run of the season, a solo shot, as Cleveland looks to stay in this one. It is now a 2-1 ball game, as we have quite the crowd here in Houston. Fans starting to pull back in thanks to our winning ways. So we'll see if the Indians can continue with a 2-out rally. Next batter goes up, full count to him, and he's going to draw a walk. So Bradley Zimmer will be on first base. That's going to bring up the next batter, and he's going to pop up to left field for the final out of the inning. I wish the MLB Network game showed you who was at the bat. That was just a little pet peeve of mine. But now we go bottom of the second now. See if the Astros can get that run by Carlos Correa. Dribbles this one to the second baseman who knocks it down, but has no play. Next up is Josh Reddick. He's first pitch swinging. He's popping a nice fastball down the middle into left field for the first out. So now that's going to bring up Yuli Gurriel up next. He's also first pitch swinging, this time on a high fastball. He also times it well, but is unable to do anything with it as he flies out to right field. So that means we got Garrett Stubbs up next. He's going to walk. So now runners on first and second here, 2 outs. Little 2-out rally here for the Astros. Maybe Michael Brantley up next. He laces one into center field. The center fielder dives and misses. That ball's going to get all the way to the wall. All the runners are going to come in. Michael Brantley has an easy triple, but it looks like he's not slowing down. He's going to try to go for the inside the Parker. Why not? But he is gunned down by an absolute mile. But nonetheless, it is now a 4-1 game here for the Astros. George Springer up in the bottom of the fourth. Now we skip the third, going straight to the fourth. He's 0 for 1 so far in this game. We'll count to Springer. He laces one straight at Cesar Hernandez at second for the first out of the fourth. That means Carlos Correa up next, 2-1 to him. He gets a high slider, pokes this one right into right field past the glove of the first baseman. That's going to rattle up against the wall, and Correa has a 1-out double for his efforts. Next up, Josh Reddick, 2-2 count to Josh Reddick. He gets a slider. It's going to chop into Hernandez for an out, but it does move the runner up to third base. That's going to be for Yuli, who's up next. Full count to him, and he gets a changeup right back up the middle. So that run is going to plate, and it is now a 5-1 lead here for the Astros. This lead starting to build here in the fourth. Stubbs up next. He takes a look at a fastball high. That cores the next out. So that ends the fourth inning. Now we're going to go top 5. Do the Indians have an answer? Logan Ice is going to lead it off to try to find an answer, see if they can get to Jose. 2-2 count to Ice. He pops this one to left field. Brantley underneath it, and that's going to be an easy first out of the inning. So now back to the top of the order, first batter, and he's going to pop up into left field, this time a little bit shallower, and Brantley's unable to get to that one. So we do have a runner on first base. Mike Freeman does get aboard. That's going to bring up Cesar Hernandez up next, and he's going to dribble one up the middle for a base hit. So now runners on first and second here, 1 out. That's going to bring up Francisco Lindor, and he's going to line this one as well. So back-to-back singles here in the fifth with 1 out. And Cook is actually going to come out and yank Urquidy. He's kind of tired going to this one, and he's not going to be able to get the decision, unfortunately. They're going to bring in Jose Urania. That's who it is. I know MLB Network box glitch, but it is Jose Urania to come in and get his place. And he's going to walk Franmil Reyes on his first batter, which means Freeman is going to come around to score. So it is a 5-2 ball game. But the next batter, look at this, right back to Urania, 1-6-3. So we get out of the bases loaded 1-out jam with only giving up 1 run. We're going to go a little bit later into the at-bat for the Astros. Cleveland brings in a reliever. I think it's Plesac, and Alvarez is leading us off in the bottom of the 6th inning. So now first pitch to Alvarez is a high slider, and high slider gets crushed deep to right field. That ball is slicing right. Reyes can only look up as that ball is gone about 4 rows into the right field seats. Alvarez's second blast of the game. This one a solo shot, as that is home run number 29 now on the season. 6-2 here in Houston. Astros starting to pull away in this one thanks to that shot. Next up, George Springer. First pitch to him is also a changeup this time down the left field line past third base. So 2 pitches. Pitcher's already given up a home run and a double. Next up, Carlos Correa. He's not first pitch swinging. He's getting a full count and chasing the upstairs fastball. So 1 out now for Cleveland. Redick up next. He pops this one to left field. Another first pitch swinger for out number 2. So next up, Yuli, who does have an RBI already in this one. He's going to try to get another RBI. I guess this one to center field, but it's underneath and playable for the center fielder. So now 6-2 now, bottom of the 7. Let's go bottom 7. Garrett Stubbs, he pops this one to foul territory, going behind the wall. But the first baseman, what a grab out there by Santana. He pulls that one out of the stands for the first out in the 7th. Michael Brantley up next. He's going to draw a walk. So now Plesac walks him to first. I knew it was Plesac. Next up, Alex Bregman, 2-0 count to him. Dribbles this one shortly to Lindor, who tries to turn 2, only able to get 1. Bregman beats out the throw, so it was a fielder's choice. One runner on, and Altuve gets a fastball, drills it the other way, and that ball has some carry. That ball's also gone right back to where Jordan hit his home run. And a little bit of opposite field power by Altuve, his 10th home run of the season. And this one is turning into a blowout here in Houston, 8-2 now. Astros, as the fans loving it. Go Astros go, says these fans, not all the fans in baseball. But Astros winning here, and they're going to go to another pitcher. This one's Adam Pletko out of the pen, which his stats will show as well, but unfortunately the glitch. And he will come in to try to close down the 7th. Jordan up next, gets a little changeup, gets kind of jammed, so it's like a bunt, but it actually works out as they were playing deep on the shift. So now Jordan is credited with a base hit, which brings up George Springer, and this one will be a no doubt out as he pops up into foul territory for the out. So that ends the 7th. Go a little bit into the top of the 8th. The Indians unable to get one run on this base hit, so they make it an 8-3 ball game. But that is going to be your final score in this one. Astros take it 8-3 here in Houston in Game 1 of the series, so that extends their winning streak to 6 games as they look to get right back into this postseason race. Final score 8-3. Urania gets the win, Keller gets the loss. And we know who the player of the game is going to be. It has to be none other than Jordan Alvarez. 3 for 4, 2 home runs, 3 RBIs. And we walk away with the win in this one. So good start to the episode for the Astros. And move on a little bit. Before we can even send the day, we get a trade offer from the Reds. They want to trade us Emil Garrett for Michael Brantley. Not really interested in trading Michael Brantley at the moment, so we're going to decline this trade from the Reds. So there is a trade around the league. However, the Rays acquire Spencer Turnbull from the Tigers for Vidal Brasian. So the Rays trying to beef up their rotation as they make a push for the playoffs. Turnbull having a pretty solid season, his best season arguably of his career. So Tigers capitalizing and shipping him out to Tampa Bay for a middle infield prospect, Vidal Brasian. 65 overall B potential, switch hitter with 21 age. Bat can increase a little bit, but he might be a good pickup for the Tigers. We then get a trade offer from the Cubs. They want to trade us Victor Caratina for Michael Brantley. I did put Brantley on the trade block, which is why all these teams are offering for him, but now we're starting to win games. I think we're going to take him off. Game 2, we unfortunately dropped this one to the Indians 5-1 as Indians jumped out to an early lead and just never looked back. A couple errors on the team for us, and it was not a good day for Armenteros. So going into Game 3, we get once more another trade offer, this time from the Dodgers. They want to trade us Austin Barnes for Josh Reddick. Now this trade I did have to think about for a little bit. Austin Barnes, a solid catcher, 77 overall, is up there in age, could be that solid catcher as we are currently platooning our catcher spot. But he really doesn't have the best bat. I think he's more of a defensive catcher, and we already have that on our roster, so we're going to have to decline this trade. It did take some thought, but we will not be shipping Reddick off to Los Angeles. Game 3, we do take it against the Indians, so we do win the series 4-3. Looks like Bregman had a big game for us, going 2 for 4 with a home run and 2 RBIs, and Altuve also had a home run and 2 RBIs, and Davinsky gets the win in this one. So we come back and win that one. So now the second half of the episode is the big part of the episode. We have a very important series against the Oakland Athletics, the leaders in the AL West, 65-40. We saw them last episode. We lost the series against them. This time we are in Houston. This is our last series against the Athletics. So we really got to make it count if we want to get back into this division race. We have Justin Verlander on the mound, and they're going to send out the lefty Sean Manaea, who's put together a 2.91 ERA on the season. Had a very solid season so far. And let's take a look at the lineups. Astros a little different. You'll see it since this is a lefty. We're going to see Martin Maldonado for the first time today in a while. And Correa is also not in the lineup. He had a pre-batting injury, so it's going to be Aledmys Diaz. Athletics have a ton of hot streaks on their roster. We've been familiar with their lineup up to this point, starting off with Ramon Laureano, the center fielder. He looks at a changeup he probably could have hit for the first out of the inning. Next up, the dangerous Mark Canha, easily the best hitter on this Athletics team, and he records a very loud second out of the inning to center field for George Springer. Next up, Marcus Semien, And he lines this one straight to Diaz at short, who knocks it down, but unable to record the out. Then it's Chris Davis, 1-1 to count to him, and he sends one deep to right center. This one could be some trouble, but Springer crashes into the boards and gets the out. Springer probably saved us a run, so good defense from him in that inning. Now we're going to go bottom first with us, and Michael Brantley gets a high fastball and is only able to pop it up to Allen behind the plate. That means Alex Bregman up next, 1-0 to him. And he's going to dribble a fastball up the middle for a base hit. So Alex Bregman is starting to heat up in the past couple games. Astros need him to really get hot if they want to finish this postseason push. Next up, Jose Altuve. He gets a hold of a fastball, but unable to do much with it, as that's an easy fly out for the left fielder. So now 2 outs. Yordan Alvarez, the big man in the other game, he looks at a changeup that catches the outside part for the strikeout. But we're going to keep on with Yordan Alvarez now in the bottom of the fourth, going around the order. This time he gets a fastball on the opposite side. He's not going to look at this one. He dribbles it down the line, and he will be rewarded with probably the easiest double of his life. So now leadoff man on second base. That means George Springer up next, full count to him. He check swings low and draws the walk as he does not go around. So Manai in a little bit of trouble here in the bottom of the fourth. Josh Reddick up next gets a slider high and pops it into left center. That ball gets down, so that we're going to have bases loaded with no outs. A prime time for the Astros to bust this one open. Yuli up next. He looks at a slider down in the zone. Strike out. So you can't have that. But then we got Maldonado up, and we're going to do a suicide squeeze, and it works to perfection. Works so good that the second baseman can't even get a handle with it on everybody's safe. And Maldonado is rewarded with an RBI. So next up, Diaz. He looks at a changeup, checks the swing, gets locked up for the second out. And then Brantley, 1-0 count to him. Dribbles a fastball to left field. That's caught on a line, so the Astros only get 1 run out of that ordeal. Hopefully that doesn't come back to bite him. We go bottom of the sixth now. Springer lines this one to the second baseman. Good play by the second baseman, but the first baseman cannot field it, and that's going to be rewarded a base hit for Springer. So Springer's on first. Next up, Josh Reddick, 2-2, pops it up to left field for the first out of the inning. So now that's going to lead us to Yuli Gurriel, 0-2 to him. He's chasing a fastball in the dirt for the second out of the inning. So Manaya settling in here in the sixth inning. Maldonado up next. He takes a fastball and rips it down the line in left. That ball's deep and it's off the wall. As that ball's going to be enough, Springer's actually going to test the arm. Relay throw is in, and Springer just in time gashes the plate. So Maldonado making the most of his at-bats in this one. Up 2-0 now are the Astros. Diaz up next. He gets a slider, but he's only able to pop this one into left field. So after 6, a 2-0 lead here for the Astros. We're going to go top 7, see what the Athletics can do. Can they get back into this one? Starting off with Chad Pinder. 2-1 count to Chad Pinder. Dribbles this one. Alex Bregman at third, who makes the leaping throw. A little unnecessary throw, but does record the first out of the inning. Next up, Tony Kemp in the 8th spot. He's chasing in the dirt for the strikeout. So 2 outs for Verlander. He's up to 97 pitches, but he's wheeling and dealing. 2 pitches later, Austin Allen lines it up the middle off the foot of Verlander. Doesn't really move for the ball, but he will be okay. He's going to stay in as Cook gave the okay. And next up, Laureano. He's going to ground this one to the shortstop. And it's actually a full count, so runners are going. A little bit of a mistake on my part as I wasn't paying attention to the count, but we get the out nonetheless. Now we go top 8, which means setup man time. Ryan Presley, one of our dominant, doing a very good job in the pen. 2.39 ERA. Good 8-inning setup man. Gets Canada swing on the slider, running away. The biggest threat in this lineup. Next man lines it straight to center field, right at Springer. So a quick 2 outs for Ryan Presley, which brings up Chris Davis, and he's going to dribble this one past the first base bag. They were playing the shift the other way, which means Chris Davis is going to be rewarded with a double. So a 2-out double for the Athletics brings up Matt Chapman in the 5 spot, and he gets a hold of this pitch and drives it deep to left center. That ball is gone over the wall in a hurry, and just in the blink of an eye, it is a 2-2 game. Presley blows the save. Chapman has his 19th home run of the season, and we're right back to square one here. This crowd is stunned. It is now a 2-2 game here. Steven Piscotty up next. He's going to pop this one up to center field for the last out, but the damage has been done as we go to the bottom of the 8th now with the Astros. Yordan Alvarez leading off once more here. Paul Blackburn now on the mound for the Athletics, and he gets him to chase the changeup down in the zone. Good pitch by Blackburn. Records the first out of the inning. George Springer up next, 0-0 count to him. He gets a fastball and lines it into right field for a base hit. So Springer once more on base, which means Josh Reddick will come up next, 1-0 count to him, and he's popping up like he seems like he's always doing nowadays into the foul territory for the second out. So Yuli Gurriel is going to come up next. He gets a curveball that is literally right down the middle of the plate, and Gurriel doesn't miss this one. He sends it over the wall for a 2-run shot, and the Astros get those 2 runs back thanks to Yuli, his 9th home run of the season, 362 feet, and this crowd is amped up as they take the lead over the Athletics once more. Yuli the savior here in the bottom of the 8th. Yuli coming around. And now Maldonado's up next, 2-1 to him. He gets a slider and laces it right at the second baseman for the 3rd out. But will the 2 runs be enough for Roberto Osuna, our dominant closer, all-star closer, through 2.10 ERA, 26 saves so far on the season? He gets the first batter to pop up, as that is Chad Pinder into foul territory for the 1st out. That means Tony Kemp's up next, 2-2 count to him, and he gets this one up the middle for a base hit. So we're gonna have a little bit of drama here in Houston as the tying run is now at the plate. Austin Allen up next. He's chasing the 100-mile-an-hour fastball out of the zone for the 2nd out, which means it's all up to Ramon Laureano. He's going to dribble this one to Diaz, for the final out, and the Astros come away with the win here, 4-2, as we win the first game. Well, it depends on your point of view, but Astros win the first game of the series, and that brings them within 9 games now of first place, as Presley gets the win, Blackburn gets the loss, and Osuna gets his 27th save of the season. Player of the game has to go to Yuli Gurriel with that heroic 2-run blast, and it does. He went 2 for 4 with the go-ahead home run in the bottom of the 8th inning. So the Astros take the first game in this 3-game set. We get a trade offer from the Yankees right after the game. Interesting from the Yankees. They want to trade us Zach Britton for Josh Reddick. Zach Britton is owed $13 million. While I like him as a reliever, he is also on contract for next year, and I'm not trying to take that contract. So we're going to decline this deal from the Yankees. And in Game 2, we lose to the Athletics 6-2. They had a big 4 spot in the 1st inning and just did not look back the rest of the way. We got our runs from Yuli, who went yard once more, but Lance McCullers had another struggle of a game, giving up 4 earned runs in 6 innings. So we send the last game, and this time we get a trade offer from the Cardinals, and they want to trade us relief pitcher Alex Reyes for Josh Reddick. Reyes, a 70 overall, a potential relief pitcher at age 25. His overall is actually a little higher than that, 74. And this one was probably the most interesting trade of them all. Alex Reyes for Josh Reddick. We did think about this one, and we are going to pull the trigger on this trade. We trade Josh Reddick to St. Louis, and Alex Reyes is your newest Astro. So before that, though, before we get too much into it, Athletics do take the 3rd game, so we do unfortunately drop the series in what was Reddick's last game as an Astro, 5-2. But now with Reddick being shipped off to St. Louis, we now need a right fielder. And we looked at Jay Bruce, who was on the block for the Phillies, but their asking price was through the roof. And with no other right fielders on the trade block, we turned to free agency, and Yasiel Puig is sitting in free agency. A little bit of a head case, but could be a solid right field bat for us, especially if we want to make a push now for the postseason. We tried to offer him a 1-year deal, but he wants longer and more years. So we did move it up to 2 years, wanted a club option though, but he's kind of being stingy. He will not sign. We tried 10.4, 10.5, 10.6. We kept increasing the offer. Eventually, we get a deal done, and Yasiel Puig is now the starting right fielder for the Houston Astros. Yasiel Puig brought in to hopefully lead us to the postseason, signed a 2-year, $12.8 million contract. In order to make a move for him, we designated Taylor Jones for an assignment, and we sent down Framber Valdez to make a major league roster spot. So big moves here to end the episode. Next up, we have the Twins in Minnesota, but it is the trade deadline, so we're going to stop it here. So let me know what you guys thought of the trade and the signing down below. Yasiel Puig in Houston. Josh Reddick is out. Alex Reyes now in the pen. Big moves happening here as the deadline approaches. But thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you leave a like and subscribe down below. This is Mr. Rob, and I'm saying class is dismissed.